here, and what would be like the largest project that you've been a part of?
Sure. I think the most substantial thing, I became director in 2011, but have been working at the zoo in different positions since 1991, so I've been here for a long time. But since I became director, I think the biggest, most substantial, not necessarily project, but benchmark for us moving forward is the strategic and master planning process. It was a 13-month process that really has kind of given us the roadmap for the next 20 years of development of the zoo. And it's critical, I mean, in any company, any business, any facility, it's really important to have a plan that everybody believes in. And for as long as I can remember being here into the 80s, there wasn't really a good positioning time that the county and the Friends, which there's two parties that govern the zoo, that kind of wanted to be at the same table and had the same vision and mission in mind until recently. And then, so this was the perfect time to make it all come together. And it's critical that all the parties involved believe in the plan and wanna move it forward. And it's not too big, it's not too small, it's reasonable financially, animal collection wise, and so forth. So it was a huge undertaking, and we're really happy with the outcome.
And you've already seen results of that?
Does
that mean like growth for the zoo, more animals? What is that?
So a strategic plan and business plan, or a master plan, are two different things. And we opted to pair the two. So it's a business plan essentially and a physical facility plan, the master plan. So they're working in tandem to support each other moving forward to make the plan even that much more substantial and successful. So we know what we want to do business-wise, grow catering, grow retail services and that kind of thing, and that's all under the Friends umbrella. And in terms of animal collection and new exhibits, more under the county side, we have a plan for that too. And we've identified the first 3 to 5 major projects as the priority projects. We've already started coordinating that and getting renderings for those projects, so it's really moving forward well.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Seems like you guys have a very good idea of the expansion in the next 5-10 years, you said?
20. Actually, the picture of it is right behind you. That's the overall plan. And the really great thing is you can see the dotted red line, and that's our current boundary of the zoo, which is 43 acres. And one of the things we were all concerned with before the process started, was we all thought, oh my gosh, we're going to have to buy all this extra land, or somehow we're going to have to, we've outgrown what we have already. But in fact, all of the new plan, with the exception of a little bit of parking and bus parking, fall within our current boundaries. So that's excellent news. We don't have to do anything except figure out how we're going to do each one of these steps. So that's a huge thing.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Can you talk about some of the ways the zoo likes to maintain animal natural behaviors, and are there any animals that require more attention in
Sure.
doing this than others?
It's the role of any zoo. I mean, I don't know if you know the basics. First of all, there's up to 5,000 facilities in the United States that consider themselves zoos, or named zoos, and licensed by USDA to be open to the public and have animals. Of those up to 5,000, there's about 220 that are accredited by the Association of Zoos and Aquariums. We're one of those facilities. And so the standards are extremely high, and those include how we care for the animals on an everyday basis. The husbandry that goes into them, the veterinary care, nutrition, staff that work with the animals, the enclosures that they live in, how we manage them in every way. Every zoo, accredited zoo, has in their plan a way to house the animals, to keep them acting as naturally as possible and enriched as possible, so their lives are fulfilled as much as possible and they're as content as possible. So we're just like all the other accredited zoos, but we have some unique situations here because we're in the northern climate. So some days the elephants can't go outside, for example, for very long. So we have to think of extra ways that they can do things on the inside. We have a really beautiful 12,000 square foot heated barn that they can spend a lot of time in. It's plenty of space for them, but we have to go kind of that extra mile that maybe somebody in Florida doesn't have to, because they can just go outside all day and find out different, or come up with different ideas for them in terms of training and exercise routines, and more enrichment for them to keep them healthy and happy, both physically and in their minds.
Right. And does the weather here ever result in some quick thinking needed to get the animals in? And
absolutely. I mean, with a storm coming, that's one of our first things when we hear, we're on the weather alert system, and when there's going to be high winds, we have to get the tigers in, because we have, we love the naturalized exhibit that they're in, but there are a lot of big old trees out there, and if one of the trees got blown down and crushed the fence, that wouldn't be good for the neighborhood. So, we have to think of that and keep that in mind, and yeah, we're always ready. We have all kinds of drills and plans that we have in place that if we had to do something, we could react pretty quickly.